Hello friends, in this video we are going to see the some important aspect of CLI interface. If you're a developer or admin guy or a network administrator or a DevOps guy, then definitely you should have some knowledge of some important commands that you can use from CLI mode in order to troubleshoot or to find out the root cause. Sometimes your application is working on your development mode or in your development environment, but it is not working on, let's say, audit environment or staging environment or production. Then you need to troubleshoot that applications. Most of the times there are network issues, so you should have a basic understanding of networking commands in order to try out these things. Most of you have know this command. When you want to see your IP address, if you're working on Windows, you should use ipconfig or ipconfig/all. If you're working on Linux or Mac, you can use ifconfig or ipa if you're working in Linux. The other important command is nslookup. Let's say if you want to check or dig into your domain uh, details, then if you want to see the public IP of your domain, you should try out this and you will get the public IP. Or the simplest way to see the public IP of any domain, you should just ping it and it will give you the public IP, right? So now let's say if you want to check whether your application is listening on some specific port, so you just try out with this command telnet and it will provide you that yes, it is able to listen on that particular port. You can also send mails from the CLI interface. You just have to do the telnet and the SMTP server name and just the port. If you don't know about the SMTP MX server, then there are commands that will help you. One is nslookup. You just nslookup it, set q equals to mx and just give it the domain name. That's gmail.com. If you want to find out the MX server record, so here are some MX details of gmail.com. Along with that, you can, the most easy way is to just use host command. Let's say if we want to see the MX server details of yahoo.com domain, you can able to see it here, right? These commands are always useful to the network guys or to the integrators, but I highly recommend developers also to know these commands, because these commands will help you in troubleshooting whenever you face some issues related with ports, or for even you if you want to see the process, so you can just use this ps command also in order to try out. If you are in Linux, you can use ps-aux. You can also use server soc ss command is there in Linux, so you can try out these commands as well, right? So now we are going to see some let's say some environments, like if you're working in Python and you want to try out some things in Python. So Python always shipped with the OS, so it is highly recommend to create your own virtual environment rather than using the existing one, in order to whenever you do python-v, you will get this Python 2.7. It is not recommended, which this macOS terminal says, because if you're using some legacy application, then it is okay to use Python 2.7. But if you're new, if you want to create some modern application with so many good features out there, I highly recommend you to use Python 3, right? So let's try with some Python 3 features. I do have this Python 3. This is the interpreter, and so you can, if you want to try out some basic commands over here, you can easily try out. So if you, let's say if you want to print hello from dev, this is the very basic command to get through to get start with your language programming world, whatever you want to learn, right? So let's say if you want to use some calculators, so it is very easy in Python to just assign a variable, assign different values and just do a plus b. These are just basic way of using some calculator kind of things using this interpreter, nothing fancy. Let's say if you want to try out some data structures, so the let's say if you want to generate a list, so you can also create a method over here. Let's say generate num list. I highly recommend you also to use proper convention, because sometimes what happens whenever you are giving demo, uh, you just try out with some A, B, C kind of things, but at least try out to give some conventions, proper conventions. Uh, in your programming world, at least you should have these things. Some, because you have already heard that you are writing programs for humans, right? You are writing programs and you want the other humans to actually understand what it is. Okay, so it is always better to use proper convention, proper, you follow some standards, you follow proper principles, right? So that we will cover up in some other session, but right now this is just a basic demo of Python. So just now you should have to take care of this indentation here, because Python does does gives you the syntax error if you not indent your code properly. So now let's say I want to generate a list, a num list. So this is my empty list. I just want to have this for num in range. Range is a predefined function in Python. I just give this num. Okay, so this num is, okay, I will do number. I have to give this a proper name, but okay, this in range num, because in CLI if you execute this command, you have to again come in and provide all these values. If you work in editor, it is easy to go to other lines in a very easy manner. That is the advantage of IDE. Sometimes IDE abstracts or hides all the complexities, so it is better to try out features using CLI to just get what is going on under the hood. Okay, so here let's say if I do this num list dot append, and I just pass it for this number here, and I just return this num list. Fine. Let's say if I want to print this, so for number in generate num list, let's say if I give 50 here, and I just want to print this number, print these numbers. So right, you will get a series of number here. Let's say you want to try some generator. If you know generator, you can also try it out. Just I am here to try out some, I just want to try a difference between list and generator. So I am here to just check it out, what is that and what actually it does. So let's say I'm creating now generator list, generator nums, let's say, and I'm giving this number, I'm passing a parameter number, and now what I have to do, I have to just do it same for num in range number, and here instead of returning this yield is a generator, so I just yield num. I will just let you know what is the advantage of using generator in a second. So that's it, let's try it out. So generator nums, let's say if I pass similar number that I have passed in the list, so this will give you you are able to see here it is a generator object. Now in order to print it, you have to pass this value in a variable. So generator of nums of this 50, and now when you do next, you will able to see values, right? Now the point here is why I'm here to, let's say if I want to give in a metaphor about the performance of creating list in Python. So this is just a demo. For demo purpose, I don't have to create an IDE and provide all the environment of it. I just use the CLI and can give you an example by why this generator is more performance wise, it is more better to use than list. So let's say if I want to check how much memory it uses. So let's say if I want to check, so I have to use this function. So print sys dot get size of is a method which takes your iterables. So now I'm passing here this generator. I miss some, yeah, this thing. So see, this is the actual usage of total. This is the memory usage what I am using, right? If I am going with generator, let's say if I am using a list, what is my method name? I have to check it here. Let's say this generate num list. If I am giving this generate num list with the same parameter, is it it is, sorry, let me check it again. Generate num list, generate num generator nums generate num list, right? So okay, sorry, this is generator. So generate num list. So see, although you find not a big difference over here, but let's say if if you want to generate a list for, let's say, 1 million records. So here, if you see, this memory is quite, the number of bytes required for this memory is quite high, and when you go with the generator, the same number of records, sorry, this is again I have to pass this, yeah, this generator nums, again I missed this parenthesis. So it is same. This is because it is only yielding when it is not using the, or it is not creating the entire list of numbers at one go, right? It is, the power of generator is simply it is generating values, and it is providing you one by one when on the basis of whenever you require it. So you will not need much memory here. So I just want to try out this difference between Python list and generator. So I've used this CLI. Let's say if I am working in Node, so I can also use this Node Rappler. A Rappler is very useful, right? So this Rappler is nothing but a read. You can also evaluate, you can print, you can loop it here. So for Node, let's try it out with Node thing. So if you want to try out some Node.js features, so I'm using this Node.js version 12, and let's say if I want to again want to create a method, let's say of where I can pass a name and it will return me a name in uppercase. So just try it out here. So I can use all the ES6 variables here, or I can use the ES6 features over here in this Rappler also. So I'm just giving const, let's say I'm giving this function name upper. I'm using arrow function which takes a name, and it is just returning me, since this is you did not to take care of the indentation, so you can directly write it out. So I am returning here return name dot to uppercase right. Since this method is not returning anything, so you're getting undefined here. You can also silent these undefined things by using some parameters with your node command. Anyways, so now I am trying this function, I'm executing. So here you can see this function is upper. This upper is a function, and I'm just passing my name So I'm getting this my name in uppercase, right? This is just a basic function to get you know about how you can use your Node.js or your the server-side JavaScript features over here also. So now let's try some other thing as well. Let's say if you want to use any ES6 features also. Let's say I'm creating a variable, let name, or I am creating an array of names, right? So Arpit, I'm passing some random values over here. Right now, if I want to iterate this names, so see, this not only helps you in trying out the feature of a language, but it also gives some suggestions like what you got in IDE. So whenever I type this names, I'm able to get this automatically without even entering this. So now names dot, if I want to, let's say, iterate, see, you are getting all the methods here, right? You are now getting all the things here. If you, let's say, try out some other method, see, this find is there. These are the higher order function. We will discuss this in some other video. So let's say if you want to see what other methods it supports, if you have some idea, let's say it is using you call map. If you want to use map, you can use over here. If you want to use, let's say, if you want to remove some item from the list, you can use filter, and just you can pass some function here. Let's say names dot starts with a, something like that, or you can use names dot you can use name dot, so you can use this inbuilt function. Yeah, I need to pass this a name here. It is better to wrap this in a parenthesis, and I can use name dot starts with a. So I'm getting this array with the just one element because I have filtered it out. So you can try out many other high order function, or if you want to try out some other ES6 features, you can try out from here, right? So I'm just exiting this. Right now, if you are a Java developer, you can with Java 9 you have now have this repl called JShell. So if you, but beware that this comes with Java 9, so you should have a version with Java 9 or higher. So I do have this, sorry, I do have this version 11, so I can use this repl. So I just type JShell, and now I'm into the JShell, and I can see some important commands here. You can see you have to just type this /help in order to get some information out here. Let's say as a Java developer, I want to try out some Java 8 feature, right? So similarly, what we have tried with Node.js, the higher order function, which is very cool thing. It helps in making your, like for Java is a very good object oriented language, and along with that it gels with some cool programming, functional programming features also. So this blend is basically what is making Java more superior, and it comes now, it now comes with the features which Java is lacking from quite some time, this function programming features, which is I'm continuously telling this higher order function, but what is the order function? Higher order function is something which takes a function and process it and then returns you the function. So I will create some this video some other time for which properly only focuses on this functional programming. But let's say if I want to try out some functional programming in Java 8, so it comes with Java 8. There are so many functional interfaces for using this functional programming. So I'm just using some of them. So let's say I am using supplier. Supplier is a functional interface, and a functional interface is an interface with just one single abstract method. Okay, we will discuss it in some other Java session. So let's say I am passing here supplier of integer, and which will give me number, let's say, and now I'm using this I'm using lambda function, and so this supplier will provides you this maximum number out of 2. So I'm using integer dot max, I'm giving number 5 or 10, right? So you are seeing this lambda here. Lambda function is basically are the instances of functional interface, unlike your anonymous function, which under the hood creates a class, a dot class file. But this lambda is if you see if you use some compiler, you will see this creates a private static function. So we will discuss on this in some other video. So now I want to use this functional interface, right? So what I will do here, okay, so you will since this functional interface has one method, so you can just use n.get, and whenever you do this, sorry, the name of my functional interface or the supplier, whenever I do this, see I will get this maximum value. Let's try out some other example as well. Let's say I want to filter, use a predicate interface. I want to try it out. The other important thing of using this J shell is whenever you tab, you press tab, you will get all the things that are there using. So it will give you some options if you want to, let's say, if you know this thing that there's a predicate, so whenever you type this, you will get this by just pressing tab. So in another example, let's say I am creating this now predicate, let's say names equals, so this predicate will, it is always good to wrap this, so this will take a name and checks whether name starts with A. Sorry, this is char, so I need to, right? Now I can create a list, let's say for example list of, for example, employees, sorry, so list of employees, and now I can use this arrays as list, and see whenever you type press, you will get all the options here, like what you get with the ID IntelliSense. And if I'm using this, I have to pass a list of employees, or Pet, Gupta, Ram, Tom, something, right? So this will create a list of employees, and now I want to apply this predicate in functional interface over here. So I just have to do let's say I have to just filter it out, and so list of strings, employees with a name, for example, right? So what I will give, I want to illustrate this, so employees dot stream dot filter. So this filter method will take a functional interface predicate, so I just apply this predicate here, which is names, and I will get this, I will collect this as list. So I will collect this to let's say to list, right? And now I want to just print all those things. Employee with a name, sorry, employees, there's some issue with typing. Employees, yeah, with a name dot for each, and just I can use this again, a lambda function. I can use this time a method reference. I will again discuss this in some other video. So if you see here with all the names, when I applied this predicate, I will get this, I will return this list with just this is the output after applying that filter. And if you could see over here, when I create a list, I have just filtered it out with all the things with a names only, so it has given me this thing. So these are few things that you can try out, and if you want to use more things, you can easily use these command lines. This will help you, believe me, this will help you in troubleshoot your issues, and this will at least give you some root cause of what are the issues. If there are some network issues, you can use the network commands. You can also try out some features. If you are learning some new programming, you can try out from this command line. And important thing is that, let's say if you are building a project from IDE, let's say if it's some Maven build or a Gradle build, I highly recommend you to try it out from CLI, because IDE most of the time hides all the complexities. So you can try out with CLI to find out what are the life cycles, what are the goals in Maven, or what are the phases, or what is the build life cycle for other building tools. So you can use all things here. So thank you guys. I hope this is helpful, and I will come up with another video. So goodbye and take care. Thank you.